Welcome to the Lifetime Cash Flow Through Real Estate Tip of the Week. These segments are when I share with you one important tip or strategy to help you towards your success in this exciting field of multifamily real estate investing. These weekly success tips, combined with my expert interview shows, will give you all the tools you need to be a success in real estate and build your own cash flow machine. Hey guys, I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to talk about how to speak to sellers effectively and how to convince them seller financing is their best option. When sellers call you from your marketing efforts, or you speak to a seller from your own outbound calling campaign, or just meet one driving around, here's some important things to remember. Now, it goes without saying that attitude is everything. People like dealing with happy, positive people, so regardless how ludicrous their asking price is, stay positive. So let's say a seller's called you. Obviously, you're going to tell them, my name is, what's your name? What's your phone number in case I lose you? Don't underestimate the importance of that one. Where's your property located? How many units do you have there? How soon are you looking to close? What's your unit mix? How many 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, etc.? What are the rental amounts for the different sizes? How many are occupied? How many are vacant? Who pays the utilities? You or the tenants? Now, there are lots of additional questions that can pop up from their answers, and of course, you'll have to do your own homework later. But here's the important question. How much are you asking for your property? If they refuse to answer, tell them I have to have some sort of an idea from you so that I'm not wasting your time when I come out or wasting my time to come out. I'm sure you understand. And you always want to ask this question. If I could offer you all cash and close quickly, what's the least amount you'd accept for the property? And then regardless of what their answer is, you always say, is that the best you can do? And shut up and let them answer. Then you're going to want to ask them, do you have any financing on the property now? Do you owe any money? How much do you owe? Is the loan assumable? And then at some point, you're going to set the appointment. When can I come by and see the property with you? Now, if you do a letter campaign like we do, here's some answers to some common seller questions that can pop up from your letter campaign. And one of them, of course, deals with seller financing. So let's say the seller asks you, what interested you about my property? A great answer is you tell them, we pick properties based on their size and location. We do a very thorough market evaluation to pick the areas that we focus on. If we can put something together on your property, we'd be looking to purchase it in the next 30 days. And then, of course, you take control of the conversation by asking them questions again. So here's the one I was talking about, the letter that I was talking about regarding seller financing. Seller says, your letter said you could save me hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes. How does that work? So the letter actually says that, if we buy your property, we could save you hundreds of thousands in taxes. So when they ask that question, you say, depending on why you're selling and what your needs are, we can put a deal together that ensures you have strong positive cash flow while maintaining your principal. I'm happy to get into a lot more detail once I've learned more about your property. Now, if they press you for more information about this, you'll need to explain seller financing in a way that doesn't scare them off. Now, I do recommend you try to push the seller for more information before presenting the entire way you'd structure the deal. But one thing you could say is, we know you've owned your property for quite a period of time, and over that time it's gone up in value. Whatever you paid for it years ago was your starting tax basis in the property, and with the fact that you've depreciated the property for years, the basis is now likely little or nothing. That means when you sell, you're likely only going to be able to keep 60% of your net proceeds after taxes. Now, when you invest that 60% you're able to keep at today's interest rates, that's likely greatly going to reduce your monthly cash flow. However, if we can structure a deal where I'm paying you a much higher interest rate while you keep your principal, it'd be a win-win for both of us. You'll be taking your principal over a period of time, so you'll only be paying taxes on the amounts you receive. Once we've agreed on the value of your property based on its cash flow, I'd know exactly how to structure the transaction. Now, if they still don't understand, you can give them an example like this one. Mr. Seller, let me give you a hypothetical example of what I'm talking about. Let's say you purchased this property for $1 million 25 years ago. It's now worth $5 million. By the time you paid your taxes and recaptured your depreciation, if you sold it for the $5 million, you'd net approximately 60% of the $5 million, or only $3 million. And because that's a lot of money, you likely won't want to risk it, so you'll invest it, maybe in a bank in a CD or certificate of deposit. And right now, the banks are paying approximately 2%. 2% interest on your annual cash flow will be about $60,000 a year. Now, if we structure the transaction the way I'm suggesting, you'd keep the $5 million principal amount, and I'd give you a reasonable down payment to show you that I'm serious, and I'd be willing to give you a much higher interest rate, maybe even as high as 8%. To give you an idea, using that example, you'd get $400,000 a year in annual cash flow instead of $60,000. Now, we'd be doing this while maintaining the collateral of your property, which would secure the loan. And then you could add a couple of additional deal points to the conversation with the seller. For example, I'd also give you the security of a life insurance policy on me, which would pay off, your loan in the event something happened to me prematurely. Additionally, I could offer you a clause in the management provisions of our agreements that allow you to call the note to be paid off within 90 days if the occupancy in this property ever falls 15% below its present occupancy. So you don't have to worry about this property falling into disrepair or dysfunction. Anything within reason that you can offer like this that gives the seller comfort will help you. Now, explaining these tax savings are the best way to convince the seller that them carrying the debt is their best option. Good luck with this, guys, and remember, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you've got additional questions. This is Rod Khleif, and I'll see you at the top.